You're listening to Truly Unruly with Marcus and Jessica Trufant. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Truly Unruly with Marcus and Jessica Trufant. My name is Kel. That's Marcus.
Hey.
And that's Jessica.
Okay.
Let me live.
No.
So I had posted a question on our Instagram story, and it was pretty funny. And I wanted to ask you guys this, and I'm gonna just go just fucking straight for the jugular. Here we go.
Uh-oh.
What's one of the most disrespectful things you've done in your relationship / marriage, and how did you both get past it? Did I go there?
You did.
Yeah, I'll let you go first.
Done a lot of disrespectful stuff in relationships.
Nope, not ships.
Or relationship.
Thank you. You didn't do one disrespectful thing in each relationship.
Right.
In your relationships, all in one.
I thought I was talking. I thought I had the floor. Jesus. Wept. Jess, I guess, of course, when it comes to things with the opposite sex, being in a relationship.
Being an athlete.
Things can get a little hairy. Not because of the athlete in general, but yeah. I would say more about immaturity, not so much just about being an athlete, though. Thinking, have your cake, eat it too, entertaining, et cetera, et cetera. So I was very vague with that, but y'all know what I'm talking about.
What about you,
Jess?
Good
answer? What was that?
That's a good answer. Jess, what's the most disrespectful thing you've done?
I've done some disrespectful things. Yep. And I'm pretty reckless with my mouth. So that's gotten pretty disrespectful. I have I said some
if I was different, I had to come across your
remember when we were driving to therapy? He was driving me to therapy, and we were arguing. I think it was over a problem that he still suffers from, and that is a lack of giving a fuck about other people's time, right? And we were arguing in the car over it, and you got mad at me, and I told you something. Oh no, you were going to the therapy session with me, and you were joining this time.
Okay.
And I told you something so disrespectful that he got, I don't see him mad very often, but he got so mad at me that you didn't even really talk that session. It was.
Oh, that was a while ago.
Do you remember what I told you to do?
Can't remember.
I don't know if I told you to suck my dick,
right,
or to suck a dick.
Yeah,
and
something around there.
He got very, very upset.
Right.
And that's just one reckless mouth.
How do we get past it?
Example. I apologized.
Right. Or maybe I never have got past it.
And then did it again? No. No, I apologized. And I saw that it affected you. And in the moment, I was like, when?
Right.
But then when I saw the repercussions, I was like, bad move. You should not do that. And so I haven't said that since.
Close. Other things have been close, but.
I was going to say, so that's probably the reckless abandonment of my mouth is probably caused. Have I done anything else that disrespectful?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
I'm trying to think.
A lot of disrespectful shit. Over time, though, being in a relationship, things get heated, things get nasty. But I'm not. That's kind of your thing, though. You get pleasure out of word play and trying to crucify somebody with your words. You get a rise out of that.
Okay. Well, now that I am learning more about myself, I know that is a response because I do not know how to process my emotions and my feelings, and it comes out like that.
Defense mechanism.
What do you mean?
Or
well, kind of.
It's like your defense,
right? And it's I'm fight or flight. It's the way I was raised. It's what I saw, and so I mimic that behavior. And now that I am aware of that type of behavior, I am currently working to correct all of those things now that I realize what I was doing or what I wasn't doing. And so anyway, that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, no, saying those types of things, there's a better way. I can tell you to suck a dick without even having to say it.
You can't say that to men. Like you can't. That's like calling us a bitch. Like there's just certain lines you just.
If you don't want.
Remember, they're just words. My actions speak
If you don't want a response as extreme, in which we've got extreme before because I've had to match fire with fire from time to time. And that's not good for anybody though, right? So I
doesn't end well.
Pride myself on trying not to do that though. But I've lost it a couple times. And
yeah, but you have emotional regulation. I didn't grow up being able to, I didn't learn how to regulate my emotions.
Though. You know that though, right? There is no excuse.
There is.
There's a reason, but there's not an excuse.
There is a reason because I was unaware of what I didn't understand, Marcus.
Maybe.
Do you get what I'm saying?
But after I've expressed, okay,
there's no excuse. When that's all you grow up around, you are absolutely going to mimic that behavior. And it's sad that some people go through their entire life and never really learn why they do the things that they do and have the opportunity to correct it. And I absolutely have the opportunity to correct what I
had seen or was
yes.
What's the word that I'm looking for? I guess when somebody is doing something in front of you, like you're learned behavior or you're expert. Yeah.
Right. It's not an excuse. And I should punch you in your face for saying that.
It's not.
It's not an excuse. I would never use that as an excuse. Well, it was the way it's like, okay, I'm working on that because I understand that.
Right.
But it's not. I wasn't using it as an excuse.
I know. And I was just saying for the people that it's not an excuse just because you were raised a certain way to do certain things. I know.
It's hard. You don't even realize that you're doing those things. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of people go their entire lives and not realize that shit.
Could you say that for like a person, like for instance, like a man that's like a womanizer, that he's never been told what he's doing is wrong, so he's just used to being a womanizer until finally someone is just like, hey man, you can't treat people like that. And it's like, well, it's what I'm used to because that's just how I was raised, and
that's what was modeled. That's the term I was looking for.
Right.
Yeah.
Within the modeled behavior.
So like,
yeah. Right. And I would still be doing the same things if I hadn't have done some introspective, some deep diving within. Because that womanizer, you can say, oh, my dad was a player, but you don't really realize like what kind of real deep effect that has on you. And once you realize it, and not just vocalizing it, once you actually really understand it, then you have the power to change it.
Right. And what has to simultaneously happen is realize the impact that you're having on the people close to you, right?
Yeah.
And let that not so much lead, but that's as important, right? As the internal of how you're affecting the people that are close to you.
When you realize how it affects you, you automatically understand how it affects others.
True.
Right? Certain things. When, I realized that this is how I was raised and how it fucked with me, I can understand how it hurts and affects other people. So, and once you have that fucking awareness, you can't take the shit back. You have to change or else you're a fucking idiot. So, yeah.
Hey, do you guys want to hear some of these responses from what some of the folks said from the question? So the question was, I'll restate the question.
I'm like, what was the question? Because I fucking lost it.
What's one of the most disrespectful things you've done in your relationship / marriage, and how did you both get past it? Most folks didn't even say how they got past it. They just said what the fuck they did. So one was, I slashed his tires. Another one was, this is wild. I slept with his uncle after I found out he cheated. I fought his mom with my best friend. We got in that's wild. So you beat up a nigga's mom? Like what are we doing here?
How old was she? We talked all these first two things that you've mentioned. We've talked about both of these. Touched on them. Fighting people's moms.
Sleeping with someone's uncle? I don't think we ever talked about that.
Yes, we did. When we were talking about sleep with the brother, sleep with the friend, sleep with the uncle.
You said that. You were like, sleep with his dad. That was your get back. That was
again.
You said.
We touched on this.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Fucking a woman scorn. And then another one is, we got into a fight in Vegas, so I left the club with another dude and he flew home. That's fucking foul.
Right. How do you get past that?
Savage.
I don't know. I think that's grounds for divorce. I'm filing the next day.
It just depends,
doing that to me. True. True.
What's the backstory?
Shoes on the other foot.
Like, yeah.
You and Jess are out in the club. You get into a fight. She's like, whatever, fuck you then. And some dude's been hitting on her all night. And she ends up leaving with that dude.
And I go home?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have flew home.
You're so pissed that you feel like you're about to kill something. So you fucking book an Alaska flight, that late Vegas flight that flies to Seattle like at 11 o'clock at night, and you fly back home.
But did they say whether or not they're still married? Because that's the thing. You asked the question.
How did you get by? But they, obviously, I don't think they did.
If they didn't get by.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's very close to no coming back. It got to be like an act of God and able to come back from that.
And that's the thing. If she's comfortable doing that, she's cool with doing some other shit too.
That's crazy.
You know what? She's been doing other shit too. Is that's her MO or that's her go-to? I mean, it's already been.
And maybe they're in that type of relationship.
Yeah.
And they just had a fight, and she was like, "All right, time for me to go meet my other."
Right. Or maybe that's their
my swing for the night, and you can go the fuck home.
Right. Yeah. Maybe they are living that life, but maybe that's kind of what they do, right? They fight and they separate in that way, and then they come back to life.
I'm not giving them that much credit. I bet you anything, she probably run that relationship and was like, F you, left, and he's like, well, what the fuck? And fuck, I'm going home, I'm grabbing my shit and I'm leaving. And she's out here at Peppermill getting fucking a pancake and some hash browns with some random ass dude at the Peppermill at 3 a.m. Like, I don't know, man. I don't think people are that mature to be like, oh, well, we live this lifestyle, so we just, because that's a very niche group of people. That's a very small percentage.
It is,
but it happens though. There is people that get down like that.
But
other partners is not as taboo for some couples, right?
Yeah. And
so it's not that big of a deal to some people.
Yeah. And she could be saying that knowing fully that they got it like that, but it just sounds scandalous.
But it sounds like but that's what I'm saying. It sounds like she did it out of spite. It'd be one thing if it's like a lifestyle thing. It's like, oh, this is what we do. Fine. Mm-hmm. But the fact that you got into a fight and then she leaves with a random dude from the club.
This was get back. Go. Yeah.
I was thinking, I'm saying they are in, I like that thumbs up that just came up. Okay. I was saying that they're in a open, or they swing like that and they got into a fight and she just started the swing early. And he got mad, and I don't know. He didn't like it. Think they were, or maybe they were supposed to leave together that night, and they weren't going to do their separate act, and they got into a fight, and she did it early or did it out of spite, like you said, and he got on. I'm giving it, I'm sprinkling some dust on it, but
it sounds like it was out of
because it's so scandalous.
It was weaponized. It was weaponized to leave with another dude in order to hurt this fella.
Hurt people.
Again, no excuse.
No, but that's.
I know. Yeah, it's true.
That's a reason,
right?
Yeah. What's wild is with this last one is actually gave how they got past it. She goes, and it's funny how these are all from women, by the way. But she said, I told him, right? I told him our kid wasn't his. We never recovered.
Was it true, or was she just throwing that around loosely? Is what I would like to know.
It was true.
That's tough.
You never recovered. You should be able to recover from that, because if it was his, maybe it was just a joke. I was just mad. You should be able to recover. Don't ever do it again, but you recover. But no, that shit was obviously real.
I don't know if you recover from something like that.
I mean, it's it's so fucked up that it's kind of like
things aren't the same after that. Ever.
Why are there some people, men and women, because they both do this? Mm-hmm. I'm talking like I'm not a man, like I'm not a human, but men or women, like, why do people do the kid thing? Then they leverage the kid and they use the kid to get at the heartstring because they know that's what's gonna like be the dagger in the heart. Like, why? Again, as a father myself, like I would never like try to leverage my kids for some shit. Like, cause all it hurts is the kid at the end of the day. I mean, the parent might feel some type of way, oh, that's fucked up, but like it really hurts the kid at the end of the day.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, why is that? Like, how can somebody be, and I get it, like we get in our emotions sometimes and we say things, that's the whole topic of this episode. We say things that, we regret and we don't mean to say, but like, Jesus, like you go straight for the jugular and you just say, well, you know what? Your kid ain't yours. Like.
Well, bringing it back to what I was saying earlier, there is obviously when somebody's like that, they have no fucking regulation of their emotions and their anger, because people that don't know how to do that will leverage children. Now, that's something I couldn't do. Or maybe I could in the past. I don't know. But that's not something I would think about doing. But I can see how it would be done. Like, I don't know, out of desperation, lack of being able to regulate, you're going to use anything because you don't care. It's a very selfish thing to do. So
that's what I was going to say. That is selfish to want to win the war of words that bad, or to be to make sure that you win this argument or you have the upper hand, to go that far or to play that dirty, to fight that dirty. And I told you this on a number of occasions. There's a way to fight. There's a way to have an argument, right? But when you go nasty,
Marcus!
but when you go nasty, it could get really bad.
Again, when you don't know any other way to be, you don't know how to say, hey, that really like gets me.
It's still
a
choice. That's still a choice, Jessica. That's still
not a choice.
But that's the warning, though, that there's
like
a way to fight. There's a way to do things. Yeah. Right. And so I don't know. Even if you can't control it, there's those conversations that happen shortly after of where things need to be cleaned up quickly, or you run the risk of losing your partner, right? Or creating a situation that you can't come back from.
Yeah.
Right. And people go to jail over this all the time. If people die over this all the time by being in a situation that they felt like they couldn't control themselves, right? So they lashed out and they did things.
Oh man.
And things happen.
Hey, Fatal Attraction is real, man.
Oh, I believe it.
The crimes of passion and all this kind of stuff that we see on the shows, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And whoever that is lucky that didn't turn into a crime of passion. You said that kid wasn't mine?
Right.
Okay.
Do you think, I mean, speaking of crimes of passion, do you think people do these kind of things, these crimes of passion, because not necessarily of them being hurt, but more so like, well, if I'm not going to have them, no one else is going to have them, or I don't think I'm ever going to have anyone else, so I'm going to just snap, I guess?
Yep.
I think it's a combination of everything. It's a combination.
Yeah. I think it could be that, very well be that too, though. If I can't have you, nobody can. I think that's like, that's some shit on Netflix that you see when it's like the ex-lover comes back and eventually kills the other former ex that is now with somebody else, because it's like, hey, he can't have you either. You gotta die.
Or it's simple. It could be ego. It could be embarrassment, anger, all piled up together, or things have been building up over time and you just snap. I mean, it could be a combination of things. So, yeah.
Is it screwed up? Quick. Is it? Yeah, it got very dark quick. Is it kind of screwed up that, like, in my own head, I've never cared or loved somebody that much in my life to feel like, you know what I mean? Like I would want to like hurt them, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like these crimes of passion, like some people they're so obsessed with somebody, right? And they're so like, you know what I mean? It's like, I could never love someone that much or be obsessed, I guess, with somebody that much, I guess is my point. I don't know. It's just weird.
Again, I think it comes,
or use my kids as leverage. Like I can't. I'm just.
It comes down to being able to regulate yourself too. Because if you can't regulate yourself, it doesn't even matter. You might not even love that person that much, but you're gonna kill them.
I think it's a situation you never really know. We're all human, and we all could get pushed to a certain point, right? And until something like that happens to you, you're like, okay, damn. I didn't think this was part of me. I didn't think this was a part of my DNA. But now I feel like I want to go kill something, right? I understand now. I get it. So I
it
feel
lays
you, Kel,
dormant.
But it lays dormant.
Takes one thing
until you get pushed to that limit, and then
snap.
it's like, damn, I can't even control this now. I gotta go get somebody.
I think most people are one
situation,
situation away from snapping.
I agree with that.
But see, like my logic, I look at it like this: there's like 4 billion women in the world, right? 4 billion.
Don't go there. Don't try and use numbers and say there's plenty of fish in the fucking sea and shit.
I'm just saying, like,
don't do it, Kel.
That's your rational self, though, Kel. I'm talking about when you lose it, and man, if something happens and all that logic goes out the window.
We were just talking about love and how it can make you. We were just talking about it.
You can make it
we
crazy.
were singing a song or something, and I like.
Right, but we were talking about how leveled it can.
Yeah, I was raised in the 90s, though. I was raised in the 90s. And so, like, I still have part of that mentality, which I'm not proud of, where, like, I'm just like, fuck these bitches.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate to say that, but, like, I have that part of that is still, like, ingrained in me. Like we were talking about earlier of, like, you know, womanizing and stuff like that and not being told that what you're doing was wrong. You know, like, when you've lived that lifestyle before, there's certain things that are kind of ingrained in you where, like, you have a defense mechanism of kind of rolling certain things off because it's like, bitch, I'll go get another one. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
to protect your tender heart.
As guys, we do that.
Fuck those bitches. It helps build that. Yeah. Every time you say it puts a little
brick
team
around you. Yeah, because like, then you got that security.
I know. Stroke your ego. Yeah.
Right.
Keep that team around.
But see, that makes me so I don't want to fucking commit a crime of passion. Right? So, like, I feel like that's safer than going out and hurting somebody if I could just roll it off my fucking shoulders and be like, yeah, all right, well.
But then you don't want to carry that type of mentality. Do you want to go your whole life and possibly
then
never
you miss out on true
experience
love.
That? Because fuck them bitches, protect.
It's only for certain. Not every woman is fuck these bitches, but, like, I'm just saying, like, when you get in certain situations where it's like, well, I mean, it is what it is. And that's the other thing too, is like, one thing my mom told me when my parents got divorced, and I think I've said this to you guys years ago on an episode, and it's always stuck with me. And I think this is part of that development is she said, son, don't ever feel like you need to have a significant other in your life to feel whole. And so that's always, like, stuck with me. So there's always like, well, as long as I got myself, like, I'm gonna be all right.
That doesn't translate to fuck these bitches, though.
It can, if it can in ways, you know what I'm saying? But
it's unfair. Like, if you're in a committed situation, I think that's a little bit different, right? And you've been in it for some time, and things happen or something comes up, right? That's of course a little harder to swallow, right? That's something that you have to deal with, and you may be out of practice of fuck those bitches, right? So you changed up the game and you threw in the towel, and then this thing happens and you're like, damn, all right, I don't got that thing to fall back on. So what am I going to do now?
I'm going to kill this bitch.
Yep. So. That's all I got left. That's the only thing I got left in the satchel, right? And I go for that, and then you snap.
Hey, Kel, it happens. It happens a lot. Like I said, the Netflix specials on this kind of stuff.
Right. And it's tougher for guys. I know there is some women on there that do the snap thing too, but I think it's tougher for guys just because exactly what you said, Kel. We put up this defense, and we have these things that's able to help us stay away from those certain emotions that we don't want to tap on, because it's scary out there, right? It's scary for us dudes to go that far. And when you do, and then it's thrown back in your face, snap, crackle, pop.
Yeah, but like I always had this saying all the time, and like every woman I've ever been with in my life back in the day used to hate when I say this. But like when some stupid shit would happen, and I'd be like, all right, you know what? I'm done. Like, I don't want to do this. And it's like, well, you don't want to work this out. You don't want to. I would just be like, well, charge it to the game. You know what I'm saying? I was like, charge it to the game. And that was always like my
That's fair. Yeah.
No.
It's like,
don't.
what do you do? What do you do? Like, and me, and I think my thing is too, as a guy that was like pretty much abandoned, as a child by my father, and clearly have abandonment issues. Like it's been like my defense mechanism of like, all right, well, you know what? I'm gonna protect myself. I'm gonna cut you off, and I'm gonna just keep it moving because like I don't want to get hurt.
Yes.
And I think that makes it worse, though,
down
Kel.
to.
I think that makes it worse when you do get hurt, though. And that's why there's so many dudes that do snap, because we do all have a lot of that same type of mentality.
It tears your world.
Right,
it breaks you. It tears you apart, especially if you're used to fuck these bitches, getting your ego stroked, whatever. You finally open up your heart and become vulnerable and let somebody in and they shit on it. Oh, I can only imagine.
Well, the thing is, like, I don't immediately want to fucking go murder somebody. Like, for me, it's more of like, see, it's proven my point. Point proven. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's just me, though. And I know that's very cynical sounding.
Right.
That's how I used
Outwardly,
to be. Obviously,
you would be like
I'm not
that.
like that now, but
right.
Yes.
I know. I'm like,
yeah.
Well, please. I am the opposite. I'm snapping.
Snap worthy.
It snapped over here. And so, nope, it's not good.
And then do you think that is because like when we see shows like Snapped and stuff like that, and these women that do this stuff, is it because women are more emotional in the sense of like making an emotional decision, and guys, we can be like, with me, a little more logical about it, of like, hey, it didn't work out, it is what it is, like I'm gonna move on with my life. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm never gonna meet another person ever again in my life. Obviously, like, it's gonna suck for a while, and it's like, oh damn, this sucks, I really like this person, but like, to want to like go and fucking decapitate somebody, that's just purely like an emotional decision. Like, there's no logic there, because you're out of your mind at that point. You know what I'm saying?
That's the problem.
That's the very same thing I said before I decapitated somebody. Oh, there's more fish in the sea. Hey, this ain't the first dude. This ain't the last dude. You know what? I don't give a fuck about that right now.
Right. It's only right now.
It's
the
what's
right in front
now.
of you.
I'm going to get you right now. Not fuck the long-term consequences. Fuck it.
And that's why it says it only takes a second, and there's a million people in graves and in jail because of that 1 second. And that's what I was getting at. Yeah. And you get pushed, and then everything goes out the window. Scary, actually.
You like black out.
Yeah.
And that's one thing for me. It's like, you don't want to let anyone push you to do something like that, because you're not in control at that point. But let alone like my relationship push me to that. Like F that. Like, I don't want my relationship to be the reason I go to jail. Like, you better make it worth my while.
You see people get possessed and act a fool for less. So just imagine.
Which is wild to me. Which is like, you have no control of your emotions. Like, you need to control your emotions.
And I'll say something real quick too. We talked about this on a previous show about privacy and being your own person in a relationship, right? I would say sometimes, maybe when snapped type of situations occur, there's a dependency, right? And you don't really have your identity, right? And so this thing is falling apart, so I'm just going crazy, right? Maybe, but maybe not.
Yeah, no, I think that's a part of it. Like, who am I without you, or like without this relationship? But that could very well be a reason why people snap. Shout out to Snapped, showing people how to kill people.
Damn.
Motives for killing people.
The tutorial.
But do you guys think too, though, like, that's more of like the individual. Like, if you have your entire identity wrapped up in your partner, you clearly don't know who you are.
People's entire identities are wrapped up in many things that they don't even realize. So being wrapped up in your partner, I am not surprised.
It's probably a lot more common than probably we all think.
Right.
You get wrapped up in, in being a dad, being
right. You get wrapped up in being a parent. You lose.
Yeah.
You can lose your
and
identity
everything
for
could be lost, and then you're like,
reasons.
oh shit,
not even realize it. But no, people do have their entire identity wrapped up in their person.
Or this ain't me. I don't come from this. This would never happen to me. So I got to get some get back. And the only thing I could see
is murder.
Listen, I am not about to sit here and kill nobody over no relationship just to be locked up with a bunch of dudes. That does not sound fun.
Some people can't see that far.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I think it just people must.
I would
must
think the
black
same
out.
thing too. But yeah, but to be in that situation and you're not thinking properly and you're not thinking of the long-term consequences.
If
I just want to feel better now.
That was your path. That you chose this path. If you this is where you were going. If you are like, fuck my kids, fuck life, fuck freedom, you were destined. That was
I enjoy this freedom and these vacations way too much to be sitting here over this one situation because this girl decided that she wanted to go and bust open for somebody else. Go be with him, because I'm not about to be going to jail behind that.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, oh, I'm not this.
Game,
this isn't my kid. Oh, cool. Go find his real daddy or her real daddy. Like, I don't got time to go to jail for that.
And
like,
you go take a boxing class. You go find a way to channel that pain. What?
Meditate.
Yeah.
For real. You need to go meditate. You need to go lift
get a
some
new
weight.
hobby.
Go hit the weights, bro.
Yeah, you guys
go run some wind sprints.
That's not real life.
that
or find somebody, pick a fight with them, whoop their ass, and then feel so much better.
It comes
you
with
don't
years
have to kill
of therapy
anybody
and all this other stuff.
You don't have to kill anybody.
Maybe you do. That's what you tell yourself. I got to kill somebody in order to feel better. I know, but I'm saying what people could be thinking, right? The only way.
I think that's not having control of the voice in your head. That's the voice in your head telling you that, and you have no control over that voice in your head. So you're vulnerable.
Yep, and that voice in your head comes and it's like, boop,
it gets louder and louder, and it takes over.
I'm here, and this is what we're about to do.
Rational thoughts of all this other stuff, the kids and all that kind of stuff goes out the window. That voice just takes over.
You just got to think, like, people have things happen to them, small things, and it alters them and they become schizophrenic. They become all of these things. So just imagine having something like that where your heart, body, your full soul is invested. You're snapping.
You've never been in love before, then you finally fall in love and this person just steps on your heart and you don't even know how to handle it because you've never had your heart broken before. Ooh, that's the worst. Because I've seen girls like that. I've seen women like that like they've never went through that phase where like that guy that they loved in their early 20s like broke their heart and they'd never had their heart broken before. So then they finally get with a dude or like they're in their mid to late 30s and then they get shitted on and they just like can't fucking believe it and they go completely fucking AWOL because they've never had their heart broken before. I've seen that. I know some adults like that here in Vegas. That's actually going through.
That's what I'm saying. Man, people are not that far. Been shitted on before. Like we said earlier, everybody is not that far. You just never know.
A couple situations away from snaps is all of us.
Remember, Kel, the guy from Immaculate?
Oh, yep.
Something just
at an old age.
At an old age, something dormant was like, bing. Okay.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Oh, Jessica.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Isaac.
Fucking crazy. Anyway, we can talk about that because he's dead now, so that's fine. But he died in jail. He was hella old.
Yeah, he was. Really? He was old when I was young.
Right. He's one of those people like, he's one of those people like your whole life he was always old.
Right. He was always old. I hope I'm never that person that was just always old.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're all damn near middle aged and he was old when we were young.
He was always 70 to me.
And he had
when I was like a teenager.
He had his time, man.
That's real
So-
shit.
Yeah, I
That's
guess he
real
was like,
shit.
yeah, man,
That's
I
real
might as
shit.
well snap, man. I'm at the end of this thing. It's my get back.
Yeah, he's like, I ain't got nothing to lose. Goodbye.
Cold.
How he did it was wild though. Okay, anywho, so I guess the moral of the story is mental health should be taken more seriously in this country because people are
Wait.
susceptible of doing some wild shit if they get their heart
Yes.
broken. And B, yeah, you don't have to be disrespectful to get your get back because you might get some consequences that you didn't think were gonna come later.
That are
because we've all
lifelong.
watched Snap.
Lifelong.
Yes,
Mhm.
and see what can
Consequences.
potentially
Yep.
happen.
Yeah.
This is interesting. All right, well, truly unruly, y'all. Marcus Trufant, Jessica Trufant. This was a dark fucking episode.
It was.
But
it was good,
yeah,
though.
Yeah,
Good.
it was good though. You can follow us on all things social at trulyunruly_podcast. If you want us to answer any of your questions about your relationship or just some things you might have going on in life, hey man, you got open ears here. Email us at trulyunrulypodcast@gmail.com. You can catch us every Sunday on Converge. And of course, leave a review and subscribe on your favorite podcast player and catch the visual on YouTube. Boom. All right. Until next time, y'all. Peace and much love.